Alright, so in this lecture, I will be demonstrating how to go about modeling a chair as part of the homework assignment. It'll be a similar process to the table, modeling over reference. So what I'll start with is I'll start modeling with this. This is the front. And I will create a cube. Okay, so I'll model here actually. Yeah. So, as usual, I'll line this up. Start with this piece here. Edge. Verts. That. I'm determining if I want to. I don't need. Well, since this is such a simple piece of geometry, I mean, I don't need to model it in half. I mean, I could, but I think what I'll do is I'll just model it this way. And I'll turn on X-ray mode in a moment. Yes, that's what I want. You know, something that I wanted to, I touched on briefly in a previous video that the actually was just, you know, if you're modeling like this, you know, in an orthographic view, it is useful for where you can see everything, right? See it over your reference. I think that's good. That's pretty. I'm happy with that. I'm going to see how the how this is going now. I'm probably going to have to pull this out a bit. It seems to me like it would be like that. And what else? Well, currently it's like that. You probably want to add some edge loops to this. Or at least, well, I could bevel it too, but let me see how this, oops. That's not what I wanted. So once again, that is mesh tool internship. I'm going to use the one I have on the shelf just because that's how I'm used to working, but I only need one of these, but these can't be pulled apart. No, same thing with this. Yeah, I left it on 2 from when I was last working in Maya, but it's, you know, there's no sense in deleting them and redoing them if I don't need to. See, that's much better as a model. And another thing you might want to do, depending on your model, is there's a soft select tool, and we kind of have that with this kind of where the seat is. See, it's subtle, but it's there. And what soft select tool is, I'm pretty sure this is the tool. Oh, wait a minute, because there is a way to go to the settings of this, and I don't remember how exactly, but regardless, soft tools select this tool is great. So we're going to enable that. Hit the B key and middle mouse click and drag. You can increase and decrease the area that you want. Probably not that much, but it's useful. I mean, especially for furniture. So there'll probably be something like that, right? Maybe even these edges around, I might be able to get away with it here. In order to do that, though, I won't hit that back. Yeah, see? I think I'll stick with this. Do I need to build these edges? That's what I'm wondering. I'm just kind of experimenting here for a moment, and if you have tools on your shelf, just double click. I see no reason to bevel that. I mean, I could, but why, right? Well, if I look at the reference, it does kind of have that. So let me click off of this. But at the same time, I feel like it may not be all that necessary. So I'll leave it here for now, just for the sake of, okay, this is how you make corners. But if you've already done the chair, I'm hitting the G key to repeat this tool, by the way. If you've already made the table, that's what I mean. Chances are you've already familiarized yourself with the bevel tool, so I don't really need to go over that in any more detail. I'll move on to the legs because, well, there's something that I have in mind for these, because you'll notice that, well, you have these three, the front and back leg, and you have this piece down the middle, right? So you can model these separately, which is totally fine. And I'll be getting into another method. Actually, this matches up well, I think, for the most part. I mean, it's a little off here, but I like how it came out. Anyway, onto the legs. And of course, remember, create cube. Well, here it is, cube. But I'm just going to use my trusty shelf. That's how I prefer. So yeah, leg. So what I'll do is I'll model this one and duplicate it behind, and I'll show you a method where you can model with symmetry. It should work. If it doesn't, then, well, can't say it wasn't worth trying, right? Because I do want to show you guys how you can work with the symmetry, because it'll save you a lot of time, and there's a precision to it that I think it's precise. That's what I mean to say that yeah, you could model them separately and then combine them, but I don't know. I feel like you'd be doing yourself disservice. I'd be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't teach you about symmetry. I only need one edge loop. And you can take that, or you can, it's up to you if you want to use symmetry, but I'm just saying, you can, take it or leave it, but I feel like since I looked into it a bit more, I might as well give you an idea of how you can go about it. And yeah, I may not need all these edge loops, but probably don't need this one, in fact. Remember, delete and unsoup, control backspace, or control and delete. You don't want those verts left behind if you can help it. Well, you can't help it, but you know what I mean. And I'm gonna get back to this, and of course I do want to scale that once I'm happy with everything else. That's the thing about when you zoom in like this, it does get pixelated. This may just be, and I think due to the perspective, this is a little, it's not quite straight, but it's not quite crooked. You know what I mean? So I'd say use your best judgment. And I'm going to add another edge loop, I think. Yeah, I'll add one here, I guess. Probably don't need that many more. And of course, keeping the structure in mind of the leg, right? Because you notice how these are different at the ends when I subdivide the top and the bottom. So, oops, I'll add one here as well. I think that's good. Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, I could bring this out a bit more, but yeah, there's not much more I need to do with this, I feel. So then I'll scale this guy. Object mode, scale. Yes, that looks good to me. Remember, I don't know, this looks weird like this, but maybe I should just get rid of these edge loops after all. Well, I probably want them for the top and bottom at least. And everything else can just kind of, I mean, because they don't make that too much of a difference. But if I were you, and I was making a simple leg, I would at least do edge loops here, because I mean, yeah, you could do the other ones, but they don't make that much of a difference, really. And this, well, the way I see it is that, well, this can be straight. Yeah, maybe I'll just do it like that. I mean, it's a reference. It's not like you have to follow it to a T. So, and remember, if this ever gets away from your model, modify center pivot. But I just use this. So, that looks good. I'll duplicate that now. And I do want to try. Well, I will need edge loops down the middle for these. For this piece in particular down the middle. That's what I was referring to when I was talking about telemetry. So in order to do that, you want to be in object mode for. I don't know if these need to be combined though. That's the thing. But anyway, Object X. Actually, no, Object X, right? And that should work, because I'm going off of this. So that should work. If it doesn't, yeah. Okay, well, I might just need to duplicate it then, and that one and duplicate it. But let me try it with Z. So you want to be in object mode, and then you want to select the corresponding axis for this to work. Okay, so I think these need to be combined, but for the sake of simplicity, I'll just do one and duplicate it. Yeah. But anyway, how this works is, I'll show it later, because I know it'll work the other way. I just don't want to spend too much time trying to figure it out when I can just go about it a much simpler way. So, okay, yeah, so those edge loops are for this here. And I'll duplicate this. So actually these don't, well, here's the thing. I might as well combine these because it's all going to be one piece. I'm going to turn this off. So remember, mesh combine. In this case, I recommend combining. So I guess I could have done it the other way, but whatever. You know, at this point it doesn't matter. I'll be, when I get to the top part, I'll get into it there. So these faces, that's what I'm wondering. Do these need to be deleted? I mean, you're not going to see them, but yeah, I would recommend deleting these just because it'll make it easier to merge. Number 4, back to shaded mode. And I'll have to go to edge. Merge to the work. Yes. Alright. So those tools can be found. Edit mesh, merge, or merge to center. I use merge to center, but either is fine. I can probably just. Another thing is you should be able to select all the verts. Oops. And hit merge, and that should work too. But since this is only, okay, that's strange. I guess that means it worked though. I just thought that. Anyway, that's good, I think. So now I'll duplicate this. Yeah, because these are, another thing about these is all going to be one piece. I had a, I guess you would call it a brain fart there. I was thinking about the outliner and how I name these, but I'm kind of thinking ahead of myself too. So just ignore that. Yeah. So that's good. All right. And now I'm going to go do this top piece, which is the same kind of thing. I'm going to save file, save scene. This is not where I want to save it. This is related to a game that I've been working on, the grass and all that. So I thought I'd let you know. Not that it's pertinent to anything, but you know, in case you're wondering. I'm thinking where I should save this. Well, I could just go to Maya and I could save it in my 2020 folder, right? Because I don't have a project folder. So yeah, you don't need to do it for if you're just modeling though. I'll make a new one. Because I think I have another folder named chair for another chair I was working on that I didn't like how that came out. So I'll just make a new one here. That way I know exactly where it is and I don't confuse it with my other one, chair. Yes. Alright, so that's good, I think. And then I'm going to do this part, as I was saying. And it'll be the same kind of deal where I just model these, and then I add edge loops down the middle. Pretty simple approach. It should work with symmetry. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to duplicate them over, but I'm optimistic about it. But I think that symmetry is it's a modeling toolkit menu, which you can also hide that. Bring it back if you need to for whatever reason. There's a lot. The modeling toolkit has a lot that if you continue taking modeling classes in college, you'll be diving into that more. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. But since symmetry is simple to work with, I figured, well, I might as well get into it and give you guys an idea of how to work with it. an edge loop down the middle. Well, I don't know. What I should do, however, is, well, I don't want to make a new one. I meant to go to that. And so what I'll do in this case is I'll add an edge loop here. And I'm also thinking, should this be, well, this doesn't need to be connected to this here. I mean, it can be, but if I look at it in this view, which, okay, so it's not even, I should bring it down more before I continue with it. Yeah, well, I think it's better if it's a separate piece. So, yes. And I'll just bring up these again. Yeah, that's it. That's good. So yeah, perspective is deceptive. Hey, that kind of rhymes. Because you do see your meshes on top of one another, and you're kind of out of whack with your reference. But as I was saying, you know, use your best judgment. That's my advice on that. Because, well, you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to line everything up if you don't need to. I mean, yeah, if it looks off to you, then, you know, fix it as best you can. But actually, what I should do before I proceed further is duplicate this. Because this will set up for symmetry. I'll say Control Delete, and I'll probably have to scale -1 here, or maybe not. Maybe I need to rotate this piece. As you can tell, well, what I should do first is, I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, but I should scale this because. Okay, yeah. So in audio mode, just probably about the same thickness as the legs. I think it is good. And I'll move this in the corner, since that's where the reference indicates it. So I'm going to be working this way. Modify center pivot, of course. Actually, because I'm thinking these would probably, yeah, would probably be around the same width as the legs. I don't see why not, you know. Maybe a bit wider, but not by much, it's for sure. But, you know, I think this is good. Let's plop that down in there. Okay. That's strange. Maybe I should just rotate this because see, -90. I'm gonna try that. -180. Yes. Alright, so rotating works too. .42. These look like they're lined up to me. So I think in order to do this, I do have to combine these. So mesh combine. I don't see them here, but I think they're behind my reference, which is kind of a... Yeah, I wish it wasn't that way, but, you know. I might be able to use a camera for this, because right now this is front view, right? Which is great, but when it's hard to see like this, I don't know Okay, so it's not exactly lined up with the reference, but you know, it is, and it more or less it is in this perspective, but I wonder, what if I do this? Okay. Yeah, that looks odd to me, so I'll just keep it like that. Anyway, symmetry. So I'm in object mode, and this should work the way I expect it to. Yeah, for some reason it isn't, though. Oh well. So I guess in this case I'll just delete this one. And I'll just have to move this, I guess, and then move it back once I'm satisfied with it. Yeah. Oh. Okay, that's strange. I'm gonna have to realign this. Yeah. So if you need to realign this, just use the D key, and that should do the trick. Which is kind of annoying that that happened. Anyway, or restart Maya. That would also save and restart Maya. Right? That would also fix it, but I don't need to go through that process. It's just a minor annoyance, you know. But hey, if Maya worked perfectly all the time, well, that would be wonderful. But unfortunately, it doesn't. So I'm just doing this. Now I might be forgetting something with that symmetry feature, but yeah, I'll look into it later. So I think that's good. And maybe for the sake of I can make sure that's lined up. And then I just move it back when yeah. Where it was. I want to see how this looks. Oh, I have that zip on the bottom too. Should I do the same thing here? That's what I'm trying to figure. Because I only need. Because what I'm thinking is that, yeah, I could, but since I'll be extruding this, it'll likely, and I basically need that. So I'm gonna get rid of that one, or just undo it, Control Z, you know, well, since I don't need it there. Yeah. So that's good. Oh, I have a face left behind. Alright, so now what I'll do is I'll move this back. And I'll duplicate it. The same process as before. I know it was a little trial and error with getting the symmetry tool not working quite, not working the way I want it to work. But I think I'll provide a video with that as well. Because yeah, I give you it I mean, yeah, I talked about it, in a theoretical sense, but you know, in case you want to work with symmetry, I'll provide that video. Well, it's only about 4 minutes long, I think. I mean, it's not a big deal that I didn't quite get it. I mean, so no worries there. I wish it worked, but hey, can't always get what you want, right? So I'll combine these, and then I'll extrude these across. I'm gonna work with this just as an isolated object. And yeah, I would delete these interfaces because you don't need them, and I'd like to get in the habit of reducing polygons. So that might actually work, I think. I'm going to try this for this, and if it doesn't work, I'll just have to manually do it. Mesh. I don't know if that worked the way I wanted it to. It looks like it did. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, you can select all your verts and hit the mesh tool, and then it'll mesh everything. But if it doesn't work, you'll have to go around and do it manually using either mesh or mesh to center, or merge or merge to center. Excuse me. But I'm thinking it'll work. I mean, I've shown the previous manual approach when I was working on the chair, so you have an idea of how to do both. And it's just easier if I... Because the thing is, sometimes this will... Okay, because sometimes if you hit mesh, it'll kind of like shrink down the model. And or merge, I think I keep saying mesh, but you know what I mean. It'll like shrink down the model, and it's like, yeah, and I think that means that when that happens, that means that basically the verts aren't lined up. And I'm almost done with the model, so yay. I don't have to delete my history just yet. I have a lot, but not to the point where it's causing Maya to slow down. So I have a little bit of leeway, if you will, with that. A little bit of wiggle room. And it's a good idea to check these, because you don't want to bring this into, say, Mudbox and find out that the verts didn't get merged for whatever reason. It's not a good thing. Once again, extrude, which is edit mesh extrude. Yes. And I don't know. I'm happier with this result than the chair I was working on before. That ended up being 2 videos. I mean, yeah, I still had some. This didn't go exactly the way I wanted, but I don't know, the overall result I feel is better. And rather than watching 2 videos, you only have to watch 1. So it's much more. Not as time consuming, I guess you could say. It's much more to the point. know if these are... Okay, so I actually left a gap there, if you notice. I left a gap between this and the chair. But it'll still work in that instance. I mean, I wouldn't leave like, I wouldn't have it be like, you know, have this be down the middle and then you attempt to merge it. That probably won't work out for you. But you know, if it's close to where you need to be, you should be fine. So yes, cool. And then I'll bring this back. All right, and that's a chair. And then so once again, you can select a chair, an image, and model whichever one you feel comfortable with. Do I want to add edges to this? That's what I'm wondering, though. I mean, I could see how it goes here. I just don't need that one, though. I mean, this is low poly anyway, so... And I'm not really docking points if you don't add edges, so it's... I mean, for the most part, I'm not, so I wouldn't be too caught up in, you know, does it need to be here doing it? Well, I mean, this is more about just for my own curiosity. But as it stands, I think something like this is, you know, acceptable to turn in. Yeah, as I was saying, pick one that you like, that you feel comfortable working with, and go to work on it. Because, I mean, I could add some edge up here, but it's not going to make a difference here, right? So I just don't feel it's necessary. So, yeah, remember to delete your history. So, I have the tool here, but this is all one object. Remember to select everything. You don't need to combine. I wouldn't recommend combining the pieces, but let's see. We'll do this. Can either be delete, edit, right? Delete by type or delete all by type. History. Either way, history. And it's all gone, right? Then I want you to feature transforms. So I have the tool here, but modify, freeze transformations. To repeat that action, G key. Because you notice that there's numbers here, and it's not 0. So, and then I want you to name these in the outliner. So Windows outliner. I'll just, yeah, my image planes. You don't need to turn it in with an image plane, so don't worry about that. So group B is Control G, chair, group. Let's see, this will be chair seat geo. Yeah. Chair, what is this? Left leg geo? Yeah. I'm gonna put, yeah, yeah, okay. So, like left arm, chair, left leg geo. So yeah, follow the naming convention as, you know. I don't know if, yeah, you should put chair there. That way you know what it is at all times. Because usually you can just hit right leg geo, but I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather have you be as specific as you can. And this will be chair top chair back geo, actually. So that's good. Yeah, and then of course remember to save your work. Control S. I'm gonna save. So incremental save. You can go and save it manually and say chair 01 or whatever. MA or MB is fine, but increment and save is cool too because I typically do that. I haven't talked about that much. Control Alt S. You just click on it, and so it adds the number here. So that's that for the homework. I would recommend modeling a chair in a separate scene, because later on I'll show you how to bring it into your scene with your desk. So that's it for this. As I was saying, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Let me know if you need any further support, and I'll be happy to assist you.